now.
Is everything okay?
Everything's good. Are you okay?
No, I had fucking COVID, but
What?
during the intro, it sounded like you were listening to porn in the background, or was that muted?
Yeah, I was, Mia Khalifa asked everyone to respect her new decision, and I saw the porn and I couldn't do it. I was like, fuck no!
See, I feel like that's a segue into something that's unknown territory.
It was a segue that it was something I was maybe planning on doing, but like I read so many other more cool, entertaining articles that I was like, you know what? She's fine. You know, she wants to pretend that as if she didn't deep throat a bunch of penises. That's fine with me. You know, I'll let her go on and do what she's doing moving forward. Maybe we can talk about it tomorrow. I don't know.
All right, I feel like I am here to be entertained just as much as the audience because I have been in full isolation. I tested positive for the great hoax, the C with the vid to the id, and it's been. I don't know what's more of a weight to the mental toll it takes or the physical bipolar symptoms, but yeah, I'm positive, kids. Positively awesome.
Well, you know what? And you are, because the fact of the matter is, Eli, my friend, my brother, my family, you're here. Look at you. You're here. I see you. You're not like over here. You're like over there, you know, where the fourth camera. Hang on, let me show the folk what I'm looking at. Let's see if we can do this real quickly. It's a little washed out, but you know, here I am, you know, top head, and there is Sir Eli on the screen over there. Eli is here. Contrary to popular belief. See, it's been a long day.
I could tell you were very excited to get the fuck on, bro. Like, I didn't expect your energy, especially at this hour, especially at just feeling as dead inside as I do. This shit ain't no joke, man. It's just slapping different. I know you took it like a champ. I'm taking it like a little bitch.
Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I was hyping myself up because you know I don't like to do shows by myself.
Very much.
It's not the type of show I want to do. Doesn't mean I can't or I won't. It's just I don't want to.
And I know you're not good without the sexual chemistry, and I respect that.
Yes, I need sexual tension between you and I, or else the show can't
It's
thrive.
the will there, won't they, bro? I get it.
Yeah, and I was so close to just making my own sexual tension. But like, you know what? It is what it is. Let's because we did promise yesterday. We were like, you know what? We're not coming on Tuesday, but we're going to give you something, boom, here right now on a Wednesday, which is very unlike us. We usually stick to our schedule. We're never late. We never change days. So I was very shocked that we decided to do this. So
yeah, in a matter of fucking 5 minutes of really just getting out of bed for the second time, and I'm just like, hey, Josh, I'm kind of dying here, but, you know, and I reached out because When did you reach out? Do you remember what time you reached out at? Maybe 10:24 p.m.
Literally all day long. Like, you know, like I even, you know, we have the luxury. You've been in bed. I believe it. Uh-huh. And like everybody on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook, we all have the luxury of like kind of like spying on, you know, because sometimes somebody will not respond to us and then will go on their Twitter or their Facebook and see if they, you know, see that they've made a post or tweeted like 5 minutes ago. And you're like, wait a minute, you're on, but you're ignoring me. Sir Eli, you didn't post for like 15 hours ago. So like, I was like, did the vid get him? What's going on? Because I didn't hear from you.
Very, very close to going to the hospital today. Maybe tomorrow. Jury's still out here. Apparently, you can really treat this thing at home if you batten down the hatches.
Did you get the vitamins I suggested as everyone else does yet?
So you made that suggestion about like getting a lot of that
vitamin C, getting the big vitamin D.
So all these male strippers you sent over to my fucking home, I must say, was not impressed.
You put it in the throat?
Poor taste.
The vitamin D in the throat? Because that's where it helps.
Did you miss the part where I'm chastising you for sending male strippers to my home?
Yeah, and did you miss the part when I was asking if you deep-throated their penises?
I had to tastefully decline, sir. And I also want to say, I cannot be held liable for things I may say where I am kind of in the midst of reality and fucking sickness.
You got the Sudafed
head. If I say something offensive, be offended.
You got the Sudafed head going on.
Kinda. Everything's surreal right now.
What do you feel like? What are your symptoms of COVID? When I had COVID twice, it was for me. I think it was very mild. Like I was a little bit like more warm than normal, and like every now and again, I got these weird ass chills that I've never experienced before, unless I was like withdrawing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a throwback to the fucking like the withdrawal days. Like I think the last 2 nights, I'm even losing my sense of time, and I think it's just been 2 days. I was fucking just dying in that bed. Like I couldn't get warm, and I kept using every blanket, every pillow at my disposal, and I'm just curling up in the fetal position. There's no fans on, there's no AC on. I'm fucking sweating, but I'm chilling the fuck out at the same time. I had the teeth chatters like you had. So yeah, man, honestly, I'm not gonna fucking deny it. You know, I'm the guy that puts myself out there. Bro, it's very easy to get yourself in a mental game where you want to take an easy out. All right.
Is this your first time with it? You want to kill yourself?
I'm not saying that, man, but I'm kind of saying that. Like this, I'm on what 48 hours so far of just staying in this fucking room,
right,
with a fucking firearm, and I got nothing to do but see fucking TV. Yeah, when you put it that way, right?
It's not good.
I can't fucking drink.
Oh boy, I thought you were doing better than that.
Yeah, no. I mean, I can entertain things. I just happen to say out loud. I just say the things out loud you're not supposed to say. But I mean, no, at no time did I consider it. But you know, it's just like a matter of factly, like, you know, I could just fucking blow my brains out.
Can I tell you? Can I tell you?
Do not be alarmed. It is not my intention. I assure everybody in the audience. I would certainly clip that into a GIF so you could watch it on replay, though, so we can monetize off that.
I would certainly tell you this, Sir Eli, that it may feel bad, but I do think, you know, it's just, you know, you're gonna go through a normal thing, what a lot of people went through with that.
With puberty?
Yeah, you're gonna grow a little taller, your voice is gonna drop, okay? And you're gonna start maybe finding, you know, girls attractive now. You might get a little rumble in your pants.
Shut up, bitch.
Shut up, bitch. No, but seriously, you know,
I'm in a bad place, man.
I think you'll be all right. It's you know,
I know.
COVID is a son of a bitch. You have hung out, if you don't mind me saying, you know, I have not been the vaccinated, nor have you been vaccinated.
I refuse it. I don't see the need for it, and I'm still on that side of it.
You have a 1/2 divide in your house, no?
Oh, yeah, man.
We don't got to say whose is who, but there's a 1/2 divide there, right?
My mother, who's 77, she just doesn't trust the vaccine. And my father, who is in his 60s, he is on very much like
he's all
he
about
watches
it.
The mainstream media, and he did get the vaccine immediately. He has been so frustrated that my mother and I have not. And ironically enough, I hear him coughing in the background
when
in the day.
When you came home and you were like, "Pops, I got the COVID," was he like, in your face, in your face?
Yeah, he fucking elbow dropped me, and he was
no
just, like,
shit.
Celebrating. Yeah, no, full fucking no.
He's broken in half.
You know what's funny about like people's emotions with this shit, man? It's like I could have swore I caught like a vibe of disappointment. Like, oh, you caught it, did you? Mm-hmm.
You think?
You know, but
really, this is your first time experiencing that. That's kind of funny.
I mean, he's been nothing but supportive and amazing and awesome, like bringing me fucking food. I feel like a child again. I'm the one that's supposed to be taking care of my mother.
Not right.
That is not the case right now. So I don't know, man. It's all dystopian, bro. Everything's, and I feel very unplugged from the world. And that's why I even made a decision without telling you, which didn't help anybody. I was going to stay off of YouTube because it felt like the world here was getting too big, and I just needed to back away from things. So that's a personal thing, though.
But like, you know, but it's not like isn't that weird how, like, you know, being sick kind of plays with your anxiety and kind of plays with your, you know, like how you're perceived to the outside. Like, dude, I'll tell you right now, when I, you know, my how the what was that Omicron? Omicron. Good. Cough the Omicron out. There you go. Are you just spitting on your floor like Roadhouse Grill?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I collect them in one spot. It looks like John Wayne Gacy's fucking floor foundation right here.
You just got like a nice pool growing of fucking Omicron. Oh, look at that. Go ahead, do that again. Spit around the ground. Oh, you swallowed it.
Segue to something.
Ah!
You saw that?
Ah, no. I was saying. Let me say. Wait a second. I was saying something about Omicron. It's your first time going through it. I don't know.
Also, my first period, ironically.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that. The left has a new conspiracy theory, but
the left doesn't make conspiracies, Josh.
Never. They don't. You know what? I think you're a little sick right now. You might want to take your temperature because you just said something fucking batshit crazy. Are you feeling okay?
No. I hate the last thing I'm feeling is okay.
I hate to burst your Bernie
because
bubble.
Of your energy.
I hate to burst your Bernie bubble.
Oh, you fucker.
Pew, 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 pew.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Seriously. I hope you do feel better. My, how the tables have turned. When I got COVID, it was just like, we're only going to zoom in. And the old third guy was like, I can't get anywhere near that shit. And it's like, dude, you can't get anywhere near a microphone, let alone this shit. So let's not
pretend. Very different time. Like the fear, the stigma was still so surreal and hyperbolic compared to now.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for rubbing that in my face. Because it did feel a little more, like the guy with the zombie disease than probably you're feeling right now.
Yeah, you were the guy that had AIDS, and we didn't want to be around you.
Oh, no, dude. We can't be around you for there's at least 10 years.
We did treat you like a fucking worse than a redheaded stepchild with a maximum of STDs, and I don't know what I'm saying anymore. So,
dude, when you came over, you threw shekels and holy water on my forehead, and you said, "Thou shalt not kill." And I said, "I'm not trying to kill anybody." And you just said, I know you're not, but I don't know what you have. I remember that vividly. Or I was having a fever dream.
I am a man of my shekels and my holy water.
Was that a fever dream, maybe?
The part where I ejaculated on your forehead, correct, sir.
That was a legit dream. But okay, listen.
Let's get into it here.
Let's get into it. I would like to emphasize the importance of communication because I was going to segue into this story in a negative and be like, Eli's not here. You know what? It's very important we communicate because when people communicate, good things can happen. You're shaking your head right now. And you're going to look like I'm sorry to curse, but a dang fool.
I keep my own counsel, sir.
I don't know what that means, but I keep my own count.
Come on, man. That's like what all the sophisticados out there say. I don't know what a fucking sophisticado is.
Again, I'm not following, but
I keep my own counsel. I am my own counsel.
Okay.
Communicate with everybody, even though we're kind of partners in this endeavor and shit.
You approve. You, Eli, approve your own words coming out of your mouth. That's your job.
I don't approve of anything that I'm saying because I'm not aware of the actuality of reality at the moment.
Well. Let me slap you into a moment in time when you need to be in reality, when everything matters, when what are you trying to flex right now, dude?
Fuck yeah, man. Let me have my moment. You keep on talking your game.
I'm gonna go too. What's up, dude?
What? I'm just stretching, bro.
What's up, dude? I don't know. I'm just stretching, dude. What? Dude, dude. You were sick, and now you're coming on the show flexing at me, dude?
This is pretty homoerotic, man.
Doesn't sound like somebody who's got COVID.
Yeah, COVID too.
Sounds like somebody who has Novid. I said it, dude. I don't think you're sick, bro. I think you're bullshit. You got Novid. What's up, man?
It does feel like we live in these times where we have to fucking screenshot everything of late. But
it does.
Yeah, no. Anyway.
This next story is something you could not screenshot. It's something that you, like, imagine if this guy called out this day. He's like, you know what, guys? Can't come in, man. I'm sorry. It didn't happen. Like,
is that Biden?
No. We'll get to Biden, trust me. But I don't know. This shit always, really gets me going, if you will. But here's when communication is just so fucking key. A passenger with no flying experience landed a plane at a Florida airport after the pilot became incapacitated.
Did they ever report what the fuck made the pilot incapacitated?
Fucking being too kick-ass.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a fucking pilot. I'm too awesome for this shit. He just checks out.
I'm silk. He just passed out from being too cool, dude. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
That's been happening to me for 2 days.
Don't quote me.
Okay.
So this article starts off, and we're not going to go over everything, but there is some interesting stuff. Like just what makes me think about even more is like, well, then how much are pilots really doing if fucking Joe Schmo can land a 747? Doesn't make me feel good about people who are flying our planes when a Joe Schmo can land. I mean, maybe it should, that they could teach you through that, but it's also like, so then maybe the hiring process isn't that strict because it's like anybody can do it. You're good. Look at yourself. You got one eye, you're fine. You got no depth perception, don't worry about it.
My honest opinion is more so on the passenger and whoever was relaying the instructions.
He was a
and
badass.
Credit to the communication, like the broader aspect. It's not so much that the pilot was incapacitated, which I'm interested to know as to why, but that the passenger was successfully able to get the information relayed. I'm assuming he did have instructions.
Yes, most definitely. And I quote, "I have no idea how to fly the airplane." The pilot on his single-engine Cessna 208 had gone incoherent, whatever that means. He probably did a line of fentanyl or got a little too drunk.
It's Florida. That's about right.
On the booze, yeah. Like, oh, we're flying over Florida. It's time for me to do all the drugs I don't normally do because...
When in Rome.
No. When in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes,
that's precisely what he says. He was stressed. He stressed, the guy who landed the plane.
I'm stressed.
This is what the dude said. He says, a serious situation. Motherfucker, can you not try to sound so cool? You landed in an airplane. This is more than a serious situation. Like, I
bet you he's going to get so much poon after this.
Bro, dude, if I was him, I'd just book flights. And just be like, yo, do you want to put the plane down? And I'll come up and I'll save it again. I'll keep doing that.
All right. Sorry. If I'm that guy, I'm booking flights and I'm knocking these fucking pilots out so I could fucking fly every plane down and say, yeah, he was incapacitated. I had to take control of the very serious situation. What's that? You find that attractive? Alpha male apex over here.
Oh, you find me amazing? That's fine. No problem. Don't worry about it. We're good. Let me continue real quick. Air traffic controller, Robert Bob Morgan. I call him Bob Morgan. A certified flight instructor was on break. Like, this is like typical like Die Hard movie. Like, the dude's on break when the call came in from the plane, headed out from the Bahamas. He quotes, "I rush over there and I walk in and the room is really busy. And they're like, hey, this pilot's incapacitated. The passengers are flying the plane. They have no flying experience." Imagine that. Imagine you walking into your job and they're like, hey, there's a lot of people who want dildos. So one of the people, they stepped up to sell dildos. They don't know how to sell dildos. And you're like,
they don't know how to operate the terminal of which the dildos are sold.
Skirt. They got to turn that dildo plane around. We got to correct course, man. We got to go to where everyone gets an equal amount of dildos.
I feel like offering the context to the audience that may not know, I work at a magical dildo shop. It is a LLC corporate, so we got to keep it vague, but magical dildos for everybody.
See, I prefer to call them dildos and dildon'ts.
There are some that you want to do and that you just don't.
The big, thick black ones, dildon'ts. Dildon'ts.
Yeah, no.
Unless you want to fart like... That's me, though. That's just my opinion.
You're, don't knock it till you try it kind of guy. I respect that.
I'm a dildo person rather than a dildon't person. Like, I'm more optimistic, Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't. It was okay.
Who has COVID?
You do. You got COVID.
Okay, all right.
I think maybe I got it because you were over here on Monday.
Yeah, actually, it was right after. It was right after that night, and then just boom, next day.
Yeah, I mean, you left in a tiffy, like, I don't feel so good. Everything is getting woozy.
Did I say something to that effect?
No.
You're fucking with my memory.
No, you didn't. You're just like, okay. I gotta go, though. So Morgan, the air traffic controller, learned the passenger on the line had never flown a plane. Perfect thing I'd want to run into, right? But had been around aviation and saw planes cross over the sky in the air. He's like, listen, I'm not a pilot, but I've seen planes up above me.
Wow. I mean, I could barely administer the COVID test by myself. I stood at I watched the instructions for like a half hour, nervous to begin. This man was like, I seen a plane fly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not even from the inside, from above. Like, yeah, I saw a plane. Yeah, look there. Yeah, dude, I can do this.
I could do that. That's
what you need, though, right?
Yeah.
Do you want somebody who's like, oh, I've never seen, like, I want somebody who's so fucking optimistic. Like, yeah, dude, I remember I was just outside and yeah, that plane flew right over me. I've seen planes fly before. I think I could probably do this. That's wrong.
The can-do attitude.
That's the thing, though, right? That's the crazy part is they weren't wrong.
Sorry, when I speak over you, I can't hear shit.
Sorry, that's my bad. We'll continue. It says, the guy learned, Morgan, the air traffic controller, I think I've already said this, the passenger had never flown a plane before, but had been around aviation and seen other pilots fly. He was really calm. He said, I don't know how to fly. I don't know how to stop this thing if I do get on the runway. And he was like, that's my kind of spirit. I like you already.
If it wasn't that, then it'd be no choice at all, no trying at all, and they'd be dead.
So check this out.
Yeah. Kudos to this man. Kudos.
Yeah. And like, so check out, the air traffic controller says he had never, like, already you're working against yourself. Like, the air traffic controller is trying to help some rando Joe Schmo trying to land a plane. And the first plane he finds out the Joe Schmo is flying is something he's never flown before. He's never flown this model Cessna. Luckily, he pulled up a picture of the instrument panel's layout and started guiding his new student step by step. Try and hold the wings level and see if you can start descending for me. Push forward on the controls and descend at a very slow rate. The air traffic controller can be heard telling the fledgling pilot, try to follow the coast, either north or southbound. We're trying to locate you. They couldn't even find this guy at first.
Sorry, when you were regaling the instructions, it really took me back to when I lost my virginity.
That's what's up. She was like, just put it in. Stop flying to the north or south and just let's go right in the middle of this.
You better take it easy, man. That's some hot talk, all right?
We got Island of Haina.
Uh-huh. Yep. Landed.
Glad we know. Morgan made the key decision to guide the aircraft to the area's biggest airport, helping the passenger turn pilot, says CNN, turn his aircraft 8 miles out from the Palm Beach International, just so he could have a really big target to aim at. Like, could you, put yourself in that guy's position, like not the air traffic controller. I would hate to be that guy, because if anything goes wrong, it's totally your fault. You're the passenger flying a fucking plane. If anything goes wrong, it's totally the air traffic controller's fault. I'm not a fucking experienced person.
And if it goes right, that guy gets like all the fucking credit.
Exactly. Yeah. And if it goes right, the passenger gets all the fucking glory, not the air traffic controller, bro.
You really have a way at sharing perspective, man.
But it's true all the time. It's like, look at the passenger. He did so good. It's like, motherfucker.
Join me in my movement. # fuck air traffic controllers, by the way. I like Unspecified V's comment and quote, I've never flown a plane, but I did stay in a Holiday Inn last night.
I like the reference.
I
like the reference. Listen, I don't understand V's reference, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night. You see what I did there?
Starting to get the chills. Yeah, you just riffed her shit.
No, that's COVID. That's not anything cool I said.
Oh, word.
You're not getting anything. Together, they got the Cessna to touch down on the runway. Footage obtained by a CNN affiliate shows this. I didn't get that. That's my bad. Check it out. Here's where I call bullshit. Morgan, the air traffic controller, rated the landing a 10 out of 10.
Oh, come on. It's fucking That was just the pride of everybody being alive, I suppose.
And I
Get outta
quote,
here.
and I quote, I felt like I was going to cry then because I had so much adrenaline built up, Morgan said. I was really happy that it worked out and that nobody got hurt. Other pilots were stunned as another air traffic controller relayed across the airwaves what had just unfolded. Other audio captured by live ATC indicates you just witnessed a couple of passengers land that plane. The tower operator can be heard telling an American Airlines pilot who said, "Did you say that passenger just landed the plane?" And he said, "Oh my God, great job."
And then this just reported, Jim Acosta just finished tweeting, "I saw that passenger land the plane and said, you're on your way."
Yeah, Brian Williams was like, I was there. I saw it happen. I was on the plane.
It was a throwback joke.
So what's funny about all this is the Cessna, the condition of the original Cessna pilot is still unknown, who had a possible medical issue. Would be awesome if he was just like, dude, I gotta do some blow right now. If you don't mind taking over.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fucking like, Florida.
Doesn't like how. Okay, hearing the fact that a man who was, although determined, was also not educated in landing a plane, yet via a few quick words and direction from a very determined air traffic controller, was able to land this plane. My question to you is, every time you fly from here on out, are you going to think to yourself, this guy probably had no training? If some Joe Schmo can land a plane just like that, how much effort do you think pilots are putting? Which just goes to show you how sophisticated airline travel is. But you know what I mean? Like, you could put on like essentially autopilot and land this plane. But it's free. It freaks me out. Let me just.
I just think I'm going to prove this theory. Next time I go on a Cessna plane flight, I will knock out the fucking pilot and put it to the test.
Dude, I would love that if I just hear man knocks out pilot over.
To prove he could fly plane.
Yeah, trip to New York, land successfully. You know what I mean?
That's our next Pander for Views fucking video, bro.
Oh my God, yes. Let's yell bomb on an airplane and say, how many people think how many people think stuck in the middle can hijack this plane and land it perfectly? Go, go, go. Dude, we're going to get a visit from the FBI. I hope you know this, right?
Yes, please. This is all real. Nothing alleged here.
Are you any relation to Marty Bird? Like, what? No. Fuck.
Oh, fucking Ozark drop. Shut up.
I finished it.
I did too. Well,
before we move on and go and continue on with what good communication could do, I'd like to just talk to you about this because
go on. I'm getting a phone call from my mother.
She lives with you.
I'm in quarantine, baby.
Put her on. Let's see what's going on. Like, you got to hear this. I think he muted himself.
I tried to mute myself, but no, I'm live and like I'm doing the show. There's like 20
love you, Ma. He's live right now. Hope you're feeling good.
No, don't be sorry. We love you.
We love you.
Everybody, or I mean, just the host. Tell.
No, we all love you. We all love you.
I'm sure.
Stuck in the middle loves you, Ma.
Okay, I'm gonna go now. It's getting very awkward. Love you. Bye.
A lot of loves there. A lot of loves.
I could hear her in the kitchen. It's so weird.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just like awkward. Like, what are you calling me for? You could just.
Can't open the door. Can't touch the doorknob.
What were we talking about? What were we just talking about before you got the phone call?
That we were going to move on to the next topic. That's what we're. Oh no, you're going to say Ozark shit.
Oh yeah. Real quick, like Ozark. I freaking. You know how you had the first 8 episodes and there was a big long break. For whatever freaking reason, dude, I thought there was going to be 8 more episodes the whole time. So I got to episode 14 and it ended. I was like, there's 2 more. And then there wasn't. Like, dude, that bummed me out so bad because I formulated a complete wrong. You know what I mean? Like, because I thought there was 2 more episodes, it really threw me off. And how it ended, I was so fucking bummed out.
Well, I mean,
not even because who we think was, that has nothing to do with it, to be honest with you. I was like, I'm so interested to see how that played out, but then I get it. Can I do a little spoiler? But I get it. The birds, the last bastion of hope for the birds was Jonah. When the birds came to the Ozarks, the Langmore family was a complete family. At the end, the birds remain. The Langmores are gone. Jonah was the last bastion of goodwill. And at the end of that show, he has it. He's changed. That's it.
Okay.
It was a good ending when you don't think there's 2 more episodes.
Yeah, no, I can see how that would mind fuck you. Here's a theory I got. If you can go back, minor spoiler, but I respect people that are watching the show and that want to see the end of Ozark. You remember that fucking last minute visit by the PI? Everything he says, that the good guys with the money always end up, the Rothschilds or whatever, the rich fucking families that do scumbag shit always win. And then we get the, lights out moment. And at the end, his statement, no matter how pessimistic, no matter how fucking, no matter what nuance you want to break, he ain't lying.
Right.
The Bird family, for all intents and purposes, went full on fucking evil, no matter how much they wanted out.
And Jonah,
the all-American dream.
And Jonah was the last one to turn evil. And you know what's crazy is he's right, because this season started with the van crash.
Yeah.
And I was pretty fucking upset that they were like, oh, everything's fine. Like the van crash started it out, and it seemed like what the fuck? Like, let me tell you, I thought at the end of this, they were going to fake the crash and end up in witness protection. Like, it was going to come to a head. The birds were going to crash, and then it was going to fade back up to them, like on some beach somewhere, being like, yep, we took fucking Herdia. We're in witness protection. That's what I thought the whole time. I was like, I'm calling this.
I had some theories too, but at the end, the way they just quickly fucking dusted that shit off was
that a little crazy. Frustrating? Because it was like one of those like jump the shark moments when like I saw your van like flip over. We thought one of them died for a hot second, and then like they're just like, yeah, we'll take a taxi home. We're all good. I was just like, that's the whole. We built up to that moment, and you slapped it off like we were fucking stupid.
That's the one bitch that should have died, by the way, and the one person that I was rooting for fucking gets off. Moving on.
But I get it though, right? Like they all turn evil, and now they're going to be like one of these big political systems in America. Like I get it when you look at it like that, but it's just like, I'm not sure.
Yeah. But I'll just shout out to fucking Ozarks. I recommend you fucking binge that shit, especially if you have the COVID.
Check it out. Let's real quick before we move on completely. We're on the topic of communication, and I would love to express some new communication our president of the US of A has recently conveyed. So this is
he doesn't communicate.
No, of course he does. What are you talking about? Of course he does.
I know Kamala Harris has been at the forefront recently.
My screen's doing crazy shit right now, so if you're seeing that on your side, my apologies. Something's going on.
Oh, I see that. That's my old president-elect there.
No, this is Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is Joe Biden. Like, this is him right now.
That's what I said. That's the president that I voted for.
Yeah.
15 times.
Let me make sure we got this on here. We don't want to miss a word JB says, do we?
This dude's a motivator.
There are videos that I play when I go work out. He's one of them. He's like, what, man? Just
before I have sex, dude.
Come on,
guy's all
man.
over the place.
Yeah, when you go to, do the. Come on, man. You're like, fuck yeah, dude. I love this guy.
You see, there's things that you can do things about, there's things that you can't do anything about. And things you can't do anything about, there's no reason to get upset about those things because you can't do anything about them. But there are things you can do, and if you do the things that you can do, and dealing with the things that you want to deal with, then you're doing pretty good because you're dealing with the stuff by doing stuff. But if you just sit around not doing any stuff because you don't know what to do, because you don't think you can do anything, well, then you're not going to get anything accomplished unless you start doing something. So you should start doing something for the things that you want to do, and then don't worry about things you can't do anything about, because you can't do anything about them anyway, so why worry about them? Okay.
Most practical approach.
Coherent than Joe Biden. I don't know, right? Doesn't that sound good?
That's a lot. Yeah, actually, I could understand every fucking word. He just took more words to explain them, but at least they were concise and audible.
Yeah, just do the things you don't want to do, man.
Don't do the things you don't want to do. Do the things you want to do, and yeah, that's inspiring. I want to go whack off now or something.
Eli, now that you're here, I'll tell you something I don't want to do, but I feel compelled to do it. I feel compelled to bring up the left's new conspiracy. There's a new conspiracy out there that's pretty rock solid for them.
But before you blow my fucking mind here, I had seen two personal friends of mine post on their Facebook to go ahead and participate in said conspiracy. So before I was aware, it was widespread, like mass hysteria level. This is really something that's happening. So it's more than just a conspiracy in the sense that why they're doing it and whatever the case, people are doing this thinking it's going to have some impact.
Dude, I had no idea that you actually saw people, utilizing this said topic. Really?
I didn't on one of them. I was like, what's the point here? And I did get a quick education that in the 13 abortion states that would flip immediately if Roe v. Wade were overturned, they would use an application to track their periods or something, and would track them down or something for if their periods stop. I don't know, man. It's pretty wild shit, though.
Well, brother, man, you just gave us our nice segue into the next topic here. Pop Sugar. I don't know if they're important or not, but Pop Sugar brings up the 100% legitimate fact that should we, the people, delete our period tracker apps? And experts will explain. So, ever since the Supreme Court's draft opinion, Roe v. Wade leaked, which is a whole different topic, which is, maybe we shouldn't leak things like that. The media world has exploded, and rightfully so. Celebrities have spoken about their abortions. TikTok activists are rallying behind the pro-choice movement, and hashtags like Roe v. Wade are trending on Twitter. But because of the amount of news coverage, there has since been a myriad of questions about what the future of overturning Roe v. Wade means, and not just for abortion access, but for other matters too. Eli, you had something to say?
Well, I mean, listening to you and listening to everything you're explaining takes me back to a supporter and a very old friend who's, I'll say, their better half or the husband figure. He's 100%, like abortion is murder. And so he made a big post to that effect. And I was the one that kind of broke the echo chamber there, explaining nuance and how I even evolved on the position. But
which is very important. It's very important because I do think right now both sides are either A, it's totally cool, or B, none of it's cool. And that doesn't get us anywhere. I think there is nuance and there is legitimacy in discussing what is actually okay or what isn't okay, because a lot of people don't even want to have that type of conversation.
The biggest proponent, I think, that everybody on both sides needs to fucking understand, regardless on your position, is that you can't make abortion go away. At least you can make healthy abortion go away. But women, since the heyday, back in the fucking day, they'd go out back and take care of little Timmy with a little hanger by the dumpster. Okay, and even further back than that. So there's no way, if we just remove the legislation of personal autonomy from women, they're still going to take their lives into their own hands.
Yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with the federal government. That's
I know. I know where I stand on this position, man, and I've seen the more debates I have, it's unpopular. And yes, we have come to the consensus. My opinion is maybe a safe play, but it's my true feelings on the matter.
I haven't come to that opinion myself. I hear that opinion a lot used to tell people they can't have a conversation on it. So that's all I ever say about, the one of the opinions you agree with. I don't hold you to that opinion because you do talk beyond that opinion. And we can have nuance. I just bring up, I'm using that as an example that this is used to tell people who can and cannot, have a conversation on this.
What is interesting to me, and I think we learned it on one of our last episodes, what was it, 13% of the abortions, 13% of the population actually were getting abortions, or do I have this twisted in some way?
Yeah, as far as the presenter's information was concerned, I can't really quote that because I don't really know for sure as well as what you're saying, but we both watched that video and I believe her number was 13.
I just I don't know, man. This is going to be one of the most hot button issues ever, and my final conclusion on it is simply this: that the powers that be, and you can look at me as a lunatic all you want, is that the DNC, the Democrats, orchestrated a leak from SCOTUS. That's an American historic first right now. That's never happened in the history of this country. And they could codify Roe v. Wade and make it a pro-choice country for the rest of our days. And they have the power to do so because they control the House and the Senate. They are choosing to use it as a manipulating midterm election, because those are coming up, emotional point to rally their voters. And what's going to get your voters emotionally charged enough to go out and vote than something like this? So we're just getting played again, man, no matter where you fall.
Did you see today the Senate had a chance to pass Roe v. Wade and they fell short in an effort to persevere Roe v. Wade?
See, this is why I fail to fucking understand any of my own constituents, like my fellow Democrats.
And they own the House. Democrats own both the House.
Right.
And
they could codify this shit, man. They could make it a non-issue if they really gave a shit. They give more. They care far too much about the power that they hold and getting more and more and more of it.
Here's the issue, Eli.
Actually solving the issue.
When you talk to people, okay, and you talk to even Democrats, most people, and dude, I hold me to it. I'd love to hear the full part about it. But from what I hear, most people, when you talk to them about the nuances of abortion, agree that, you shouldn't be able to go to 9 months. You shouldn't be able to go to 8 months. Whether a lot of people want to admit that or not, most people will be like, no, maybe you should, give that up for adoption at that point. When you talk about 8 to 9 month abortion, which is, what essentially, Roe v. Wade, let's really break this down. When you're pro-choice, all you really are pro-abortion. Okay, you're not really anything else past that except pro. When you're pro-life, all you are pro-anti-abortion. You're not pro-life anywhere else. This is they keep getting diluted, and it really goes down to pro-abortion or anti-abortion. And the problem is we can't discuss the nuance. We can't have a healthy conversation and to see how both sides can come together and maybe agree upon something, because Roe v. Wade isn't overturning abortions. It's not making them illegal. Devil's advocate, in some states, it may make it if those states then decide to make it illegal. But before this was happening, states were making these rights on their own. And then this Roe v. Wade came into effect. I'm not saying right or wrong here, but we're going to have private companies such as Tesla stand up and be like, hey, we're going to, sponsor our employees who need an abortion, and we're going to sponsor them to go to a different state if our state doesn't allow it. You know what I mean? So like it's not the end of everything. Will it make it harder for some people? No doubt. I'm not denying that part. My more main point is the nuances of this. And a lot of people that you will talk to won't agree or say, yeah, I'm a little iffy on, third trimester abortions. As I guarantee you, any woman who makes the decision to have an abortion, They probably it's a tough decision, and I respect that decision.
This is why my very safe play cop out, stance is let's look at the individual factors for the individual case, and it will come down to the woman's own autonomy if she can carry a term or whatever the case. But there is the debate of any ethical reasoning or morality, I suppose, when it's so far developed, when it's non-debatably a sentient fucking being. So
a lot of these states have 15 week, you can do one up to 15 weeks. Like, I don't understand, and please tell me otherwise. Like, why is it that bad that
otherwise,
if you had unprotected sex, why is it so, why can't you then, okay, let me make sure I didn't get pregnant. I don't understand like the big, and this is going to kind of compound some of my thoughts here. But in a viral tweet posted by Elizabeth C. McLaughlin, an author, attorney, and activist, she wrote, "If you are using an online period tracker or tracking your cycle through your phone, get off it and delete your data." In the long thread, she went on to accuse Peter Thiel, an entrepreneur and venture capitalist who invested in allegedly a spy technology system, of selling data tracking the locations of marginalized people to the government. If you think that your data, hang on, if you think that your data showing when you last menstruated isn't of interest to those who are about to outlaw abortion, woo, do I have a wake-up call for you, she continued. Combine that with location tracking information and when you last menstruated and where you are seeking healthcare, and you have a target on your back.
I mean, look, this is not the first time that any entrepreneur with influence and money has sold our data. We are just an amalgamation of data.
What, if you got nothing to hide, what's the big deal, bro?
We are quantifiably, transactional fucking data. But if this were proven true in any such form, I think that would be enough to go out and fucking draw and quarter the man, honestly. So, that's quite a way to start the hyperbole right there.
She also emphasized that a prosecutor can subpoena your period data from any company, and that company can be forced by a court to comply. Sounds concerning, right? That being said, it's important to be wary about what you see on social media. So here's the part where I'm like, wait, what? But because there have already been a lot of questions out there regarding what will happen in a post, look what they're doing, in a post Roe v. Wade world. By no means, if Roe v. Wade goes away, does that stop federal funding for abortion, or does that illegalize abortion? But they're saying in a post Roe v. Wade world, will in virtual fertilization become illegal? Will same-sex marriage be overturned? Here's the fucking part that boggles my mind, brother. Should you stock up on emergency contraception?
Like it's TP, bro.
How come you're not doing that in the first place before abortion? They literally ask, should you stock up on emergency contraception? When is contraception not an emergency when you don't want a child?
That takes me back to that time I bought Plan B the day after, when we were just like, hey, just in case. Yeah, I don't know. You make a very viable point, man. It's clear and concise. Like,
dude, what the fuck is accessible emergency contraception?
I don't. Yeah, okay. You got me there. I have a question though for you, if in case you know more, to the audience. And I'm sorry that I'm not as active in the chat today. My phone's about to die. Yada yada. But how close or how likely is it that Roe v. Wade will actually be overturned? Do we have any information about the likelihood at this point?
Because of the language of Roe v. Wade, because of the idea that it constitutionally took away states' rights and made something a federal thing about privacy, I would err on the side that it probably will be overturned. But
will.
you have to understand that Roe v. Wade isn't about abortion. It's about a woman's privacy with her doctor. And as we read last week, most states, like we can look up all the states, but most states were on their way to, legalizing some type of abortion, which they should. I'm all for that. The nuance here is in, elective third trimester. The nuance is here in talking to some of our right friends and talking to them about, incest, rape, medical necessity. Some people are really held up on those sides, and it's just like you can't expect somebody to birth a child via somebody who got raped. You can't do that.
Yeah, but I mean, truth be told, of course, these are the outlying factors, right? I mean, they exist. They're a percentage in the pie.
People don't like it, but I posted something in Voice of the People, and via Planned Parenthood, I
didn't like it.
Yeah, 92% were elective, my friend. 92% of abortions through Planned Parenthood were elective.
So to me, the numbers don't lie, but does that not leave a very broad interpretation? Like, oh my God, almost 93% of these abortions that are done are electively done. It doesn't have any more context as to why this individual.
Though. I can pull it up, but like it went through all the other smaller points of like medical necessity, of like rape, incest, medical deficiency. It went through everything else, and then 92% was because I wanted to. Is that right or wrong? I'm not here to say that. I'm just pointing out their statistics.
I read everything, and I can only speak for my memory, which is not 100%, especially right now. But even with all of those immense important factors, I still found that almost 93%, the elective aspect of it was still too broad, because they just didn't entertain a lot of the decisions. Like, if it's a woman that felt she was too young, didn't want to start this journey or whatever, and at what point during the pregnancy was it terminated? I still found it broad, but it's still an accurate depiction of the data.
I'm going to try to pull it up real quick. I don't know how long ago I posted that. Let's see.
I think it was like almost a week ago, but I remember I read it all, and I don't know if I didn't comment at the time, but I was also taken aback because I saw that was verified fact. So of course, then I had to sit and really reflect about it, and my determination was that's a huge percentage, and there's so many reasons why a person would choose to do this. So just because it's elective, I don't think discredits it, and it can even frame it like these women are just using abortion as contraception.
Yeah, but when this article comes out and says you need to stock up on emergency contraception, where is that type of thinking for everyone else beforehand? Like, has that contraception not been there before?
Look, the always defeated part of the argument for me is when you really get down to the nitty gritty of accountability. That's where I start to feel like I'm on shaky ground, even on my own foundation. Because it does seem like whenever we review topics time and time again, en masse, people don't like taking accountability for their actions, past, present, future.
But they said that, not me. Right? I didn't bring that statistic up. I'm pretty sure I'm almost close.
That's the empirical data. That was a consensus. It was peer reviewed, even. But I just felt, there's got to be something more. And as we are people that peel the nuance of everything, I was dumbfounded that it was such a large number. So it stuck with me.
Yeah, it's here we go. I got it right here. Let's bring that up.
Thank you for joining us, even though I'm not on my A game, guys. But
this was it.
No. Like, truly,
you came.
I all over
Who'd
the place.
Ew.
Quite embarrassed, actually. I didn't even wipe.
But you're here. You're here.
Kind of, it's crusting up.
That's awesome.
yeah. Your energy was like, oh, well, I guess we're doing it. And then I saw the good people. I'm like, oh, now I got to do it.
I was like, I'm going solo. It's gonna be. I was gonna warn the people. It's gonna be a little slow. It's gonna be a little different. Eli's got the Omicron, but look, 0.001% the pregnancy resulted from. I don't know that words. Oh, an incestuous relationship. 0.001%. 0.065 the woman's life was endangered by the pregnancy. 0.065. 0.85% the woman was raped. 0.288% the woman's physical health was threatened by the pregnancy. 0.294% the woman's psychological health was threatened by the pregnancy. 0.666% there was a serious fetal abnormality. 6.268% the woman aborted for social or economic reasons. Like, why? How broad is that?
Social or economic?
Social or economic. Why wouldn't that fall into no reason elective? So you kind of criticize the 92.330% as being too broad, but what about the 6% who do it for social or economic? What does that mean?
I mean,
there's a lot more broad things here than the broads getting abortions. Fuck yeah. Sorry. That gave you more COVID.
If anything, there's a statement and there's a thread that I shared in our little, stuck in the middle, stuck at night chat. And I do not have the time to dissect it, even though it's the one I spoke about earlier. And here's a new perspective, perhaps, even though I don't know if mine is the popular stance or the more of the devil's advocate or abortion is just murder. But do you mind if I read a passage from an actual fucking pastor?
Yeah, please.
Okay. The unborn are a convenient group of people to advocate for. They never make demands of you. They are morally uncomplicated, unlike the incarcerated, addicted, or the chronically poor. They don't resent your condescension or complain that you are not politically correct. Unlike widows, they don't ask you to question patriarchy. Unlike orphans, they don't need money, education, or childcare. Unlike aliens, they don't bring all the racial, cultural, and religious baggage that they dislike. They allow you to feel good about yourself without any work or creating or maintaining relationships. And when they are born, you can forget about them because they cease to be unborn. You can love the unborn and advocate for them without substantially challenging your own wealth, power, or privilege. Without reimagining social structures, apologizing, or making reparations to anyone. They are, in short, the perfect people to love if you want to claim you love Jesus, but actually dislike people who breathe. Prisoners, immigrants, the sick, the poor, widows, orphans, all the groups that are specifically mentioned in the Bible, they all get thrown under the bus for the unborn. That's by one pastor, Dave Barnhart, from Binghamton, Alabama. And that was, to me, a fucking mic drop moment in this whole debate.
Is that one of those things where, like, I'm somebody on the right and I have somebody on the left come on the show and they agree with me? I'm like, see, look at this. I got somebody who agrees with me, but they're on the opposite side. Yeah, man. Like, hey, look, I got a pastor who's like, fuck abortion. So it's
I found it, to me, like, if you want to be if you want to be so concerned about the life that has yet to be, and then debatably we can talk about the heartbeat or the fucking sentience.
Here's the problem.
Synapses.
When does life begin? Because you talk to a few parents who hear the heartbeat before the first trimester is over and they get emotional. They're like, oh my God, that's our kid. So how are you going to, a lot of the times the people who are pro-abortion fucking never had a kid yet.
I mean, we've seen evidence of that. Sure.
Most, I would argue, it's almost 80%.
The people that want
are
abortions to be viable
have never gone through any type of childbirth or any.
That seems
any
like more of a preemptive strike for their own rights to me.
Yeah, sure, cool. I'm not
like,
against
just in case
that,
I become one of those people that has.
When
to
you
worry
haven't, imagine one of the parents who, in 8 weeks or whenever we were talking about sentience, like depending on what you define as sentience, but if you you, me, think sentience is at 8 weeks when we hear a heartbeat, how are you going to convince me that that's not killing a baby? This is like that moral question I'm talking about. Like, is there repair here? I don't think we can go one side or the other. We have to kind of meet in the middle here.
And then you have to let the scientific community come in and explain, because
Which they don't, though. They don't. Where the scientific community is nobody can give you, a lot of people on the right can give you a definitive answer when they think life begins. People on the left will be like, well, it's the brain, it's the heart, it's the fingernails. There is no concise answer. Well, if you can give me a concise answer,
I'll give my hat off to the side looking into nuance then. And this is the first time in a long time I've taken the side of the left.
Let's just say the side that's not looking into nuance, or whatever, the side that is pro-abortion. Where do you think they think life begins? Is this right out of the womb? Is this like right when you're born? Like,
you're gonna realistically, everybody's got a different answer. Or
I'm asking you, my friend. Right. I'm asking you. Where do you think life begins? Because for whatever reason, it's so controversial. You can't give an answer.
I can't fucking siphon.
This is what I mean, though.
I read an article that shows the sentience, but I think somewhere along the lines of what is it, like not before the third trimester? I mean, I really don't fucking know.
That's the problem. So how can people say they're pro-choice or whatever, but then they can't tell you when life begins? I feel like if you want to cultivate
the life of anybody, you have to cultivate the life of the woman that's going to carry that child.
No, but that's not what we're talking about, though. We're talking about when life begins. If people think life begins at a heartbeat, where does science stand on it? Because science will tell you, sentience. Some science will tell you heartbeat. Some science will tell you when the brain is formed. The brain and the heart more than likely get formed within the first 8 to 12 weeks.
Yeah,
not completely formed, but they start to be formed.
Yes, unequivocally.
So the question is, when does the sentience begin? When one of my favorite arguments is they show pictures of a bunch of different type of embryos and they're like, well, that's an elephant and that's a zebra, so you're dumb. It's like, well, yeah, but we know a woman isn't carrying an elephant or a zebra in her womb, so that's kind of like that's kind of like off topic. We know that's a to-be human in there. We know she's not about to give birth to a to-be elephant or a to-be giraffe. I never understood that argument because you can't tell the difference. Like, well, no, I can, because one's literally being birthed by a human. So, but you can't. Maybe it's an elephant, bruh.
Unfortunately, I've had to do the little fucking thing where I Googled, because, I should know exactly what I'm advocating for, but I still fall on the fucking sword. If it's the individual that has to take that baby full to birth that gets to really say. However, if we're really going to care about life, it says 18 to 25 weeks is considered the earliest stage at which the lower boundary of sentience could be placed. At this stage of development, however, there is little evidence for the central processing of, and that's some bunch of scientific jargon.
Yeah, it's because they, how do you study that? But, also too, ehp.nhs.nih.gov says the fetal brain begins to develop during the 3rd week of gestation. Neural progenitor cells begin to divide and differentiate into neurons and glia, the 2 cell types that form the basis of the nervous system. By the 9th week, the brain appears as a small, smooth structure. So if I could hear a legit, this is when I think life starts, I feel like we could have a better conversation. But the fact is, they're all over the place as what life is, when it starts, when it begins, more so compared to a lot of people on the right. There's a more definitive answer to whether that be right or wrong. My point is, one is more definitive, one is all over the place. So how do you ever argue or come to a compromise when your answer is all over the place? This is a no-win situation for both sides, because it's a moral dilemma.
It's morally ambiguous. It's ethically, everything is questionable about it. And yes, you're right. I still throw my hat in with at least falling all over the place to the side that's like, it's fucking murder if you even consider it. No, and then I don't shame the woman for protecting her own fucking.
Is Plan B murder? No, right?
No, fuck no.
Right. So no, I don't think a contraceptive. I don't know. I would love to know what defines an abortion. I don't know at what stage an abortion is different than contraception. But a Plan B, you take that right after the next day. Like, what's so crazy about that? Like, are you having so much blacked out, unprotected sex that you can't be like, you know what? Maybe I should take a contraceptive and not have a little human.
That's where I personally fall more to discomfort here. Like, we have
Me too. I hate talking about that. I hate bringing that up, but just the idea that, if I go out and drink a bunch of alcohol, I'd like to maybe not have a hangover. So I'm going to do something preventative isn't very far out of my mind to me. Like preventing something from happening. I try to prevent that. So I'm confused why any type of prevention on that side of things is such a negative thing to suggest. Is so bad to suggest.
I suppose I always had assumed that this was this was more for women that had an accident. I never.
But really a lot of those states cover that. Like if it's going to, well, okay, I digress. But a lot of states come close to that without the federal being there. Like, you got 15 weeks if it's a medical necessity, if it's rape, if it's incest. And a lot of the states that are full on are just like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. You're 9 weeks in. We watched the lady in Virginia say after the baby is born, the doctor and the mother will talk about what the best route is.
Yeah, so that is where I literally on the spot live, and that will forever be encapsulated in that episode, was for the first time in my life persuaded, like, hold up on this issue where I've always been, it's what that had me like, hold the fucking phone. You're telling me that baby's going to fucking come out and they're just going to sit on it for a moment? Like, yeah, no, we're going to keep it. We're going to, holy shit. So yeah, you got me there on that. I think you got me. You didn't like that then. You don't like it now.
I don't like it now. I don't like persuaded. I don't like I gotcha. I was not trying to play gotcha.
It's just more information.
It's just more information that a lot of people don't have, or a lot of people don't hear from. And again, when we go back to that topic of pro-choice and pro-life, it's literally pro-abortion, anti-abortion. And it's so not allowed to be nuanced that you can't have the conversation we're having. We can't, the right and the left can't get together and find common ground because one is so fucking sure that it's baby murder and the other is so sure that it's your fucking right to murder babies. So like, how do you find that? Like, nobody wants to have the conversation and we get told, well, you can't because you're a man. So fuck you.
And that's, well, we know how that goes. We're if stuck in the middle, Josh or Eli, together or apart, or ever told we can't talk about something, you better believe we're going to have a whole fucking 2-hour conversation about it. That's one way to get traction to anything. Tell us not to press the button, we're going to press the fucking button. That's just the nature of man, I think, as well. And woman.
Progress is being made, though, because in this article, it says, should people delete their period tracking apps? You heard that right, my friend.
That will solve everything.
People, not women, people. So, guess what, brother man? I identify as a woman tonight. I'm gender fluid. I'm allowed to have an opinion on this because should people delete their period tracking apps? And I say no. I say keep them because I'm people.
I'm people too. So now here's what I'm going to do. Just for stuck in the middle, scientific experiment here. If I get a period tracking app and I don't know how it works. I guess I'll share that journey on Stuck in the Middle Live. I'm going to get one because right now I feel like identifying as a woman and I want to see how it works and I want to feel included. And I'm glad that they threw in the people, not the woman. It's 2022. Come on now.
Get with it. Now get this. Potentially, so it says, should people delete their period tracking apps? Should people? Potentially, it depends on several factors, including if you live in a state where abortion may become illegal. If you use a period tracking app to regularly monitor your cycle, and if you have an abortion. If all ring true, then it's possible, this is in quotes, your period tracking app's data could be subpoenaed and therefore used against you in court.
Jesus. Dude,
Bro.
Imagine like a Minority Report style, like you got Tom Cruise or fuck it, why not Dwayne Johnson, like with a hit squad coming in hot and they're like, we see your period stop, bitch, get over here.
They're like,
yeah.
I smell you are bleeding. Where's the baby? There is blood. There is a problem when there's no baby. Where is the baby?
If they don't make a scene like this in a movie, I'm gonna sue somebody.
It smells like you had an abortion. No, just
I know
like,
this
like
very well.
yeah, do you? Me too. It smells like metal and like a curved hanger. It would be like the opening scene to Inglourious Bastards when like Christopher Waltz walks into the Jewish house and they're all hiding under the fucking table. And he's like, "May I have some milk?" And it's like,
present your daughters to me.
Yeah. Do you
so
smell
I may
that?
Inspect. Good shit.
Listen, at the end of the day, I will always be pro women's right to choose. Always. It doesn't concern me. Maybe we should be pro men's right to abort payment on a baby, since we give women all the right to have the baby. Maybe the men can have the right to not have any part of that baby. But I digress. I think it's important that women have that, but I do think there's a legit conversation to be had around end of pregnancy, abortions, etc., etc. Does abortion have to mean kill the baby? Can it mean terminate the pregnancy? The baby can be saved via C-section, stuff like that. How much accountability should one have in making sure they don't get pregnant? All of those things,
Accepting that there is a larger conversation at play and to agree to having that conversation. But that is not the fucking world we live in, and I can't pretend that it is. Yeah. I can have the optimism, but
we can pretend abortion started off being racist and Planned Parenthood. So, like, what changed? Why is all of a sudden that cool? When did that timeline change?
Well, I know the entire Planned Parenthood was predicated and formed via eugenics, right?
Yep.
And the intention was to be a population control thing, but you can accept that something starts out as one thing and then at some time, I don't know, just adapts the times.
So how do we know it changed, though? You know what I mean?
And modernizes? Well, I don't know that
how do you know?
I can only speculate.
What's the we know Margaret Sanger was a eugenicist. So where in that timeline are we sure it changed? It just seems like we're going with the flow off of what was started as opposed to questioning everything, because guess what? We're not allowed to question, because
thank you, super chat user Jamie.
It's a right very, very close to a woman's heart, as it should be. So it's very emotional for them to talk about. And I know they should have that right, but we're not talking about at first. We're talking about, kind of near that. We're talking about finding a middle ground here, because there should be a middle ground.
It's the only way we can begin a real conversation is once we agree that there's too many nuanced aspects. And please say, you don't like this, and I can imagine why. But Josh, please say thank you, Jamie.
Oh no! What? Why would you say I don't like this? Thank you, Jamie.
No. Like me telling you what to do, and I don't
care. Yeah, I don't. Please. If you're up to something I'm not, please tell me. Just step in, dude. What the?
And fuck? I would invite. How would a phone call work?
You want me
if we did this via Zoom?
You want me to do the phones, dude?
Well,
come on.
Because there is an individual, Josh, that you recall. I had sent you some responses, and I see has just joined us.
Yeah, would love it.
And she does have, some medical background experience. She has not committed to making the call, but I'd love the opportunity to be there because we always establish it is about your voice, you, the people. Josh and I are just the people on the platform, but it's very much your stage as much as ours.
Give us a call if you feel like talking about this. You know, we weren't trying to get too much wrapped up in this, but it does happen.
It's unavoidable.
It's unavoidable. It's a hot button issue. A lot of people are talking about it. So if you want to give us a call on this topic, 954-399-3631. That's the phone call to the show. Not all at once. I know you all aren't going to do that anyways, but not all at once. We got one at a time. But if you feel like calling, especially the person Eli is talking about, give us a call, 954-399-3631. We're going to hang out a little bit longer here tonight. It is Wednesday, not our normal night, but hey, we're here, we're queer, and we stand proud. You know what I mean?
I'd like to add something since of my brief little absence with the COVID here. I want to extend a very public thank you to the good people over at Sage News Network and Cold Beer. I don't want to say confessional because it's not confessional, even though it's one of the channels, but they really came through with us after we did, in fact, discover there was a group that did smash the thumbs down button. It fucked with our algorithm. It fucked with people being able to access the episode.
We kind of had an idea who it was.
Yeah, well, now we have more because it's really down to one. Oh, the call's in.
Call from
Shelby.
Oh. Shelby!
What's up?
What's up, girl?
I'm so glad you called.
Welcome
girl.
to the show.
Come on now.
I did want to hold on. It might be echoey here for just a second.
It sounds good. May I excuse myself real quick? Eli and Shelby, talk shop real quick. You know what I gotta do, right. Eli? I gotta fucking
go.
I'm sorry, but
I'm not holding it.
Get her to kind of summarize where she's going. Yep. Okay.
All right, Shelby, check it out, girl. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
I am okay. I mean, I don't know why I'm gonna start whispering. There's people watching, but I really need you to do your best because you have been very articulate and very, very passionate and to the point about your stance here. Okay. I can only sit on fall on the sword where I'm like, it's the woman's choice so much because once we keep on peeling it, it gets harder. So when he comes back, please propose every question. You know, he answered the question that you had asked, which was the embryos or the life or the child. Yep. Just, get ready for an interesting little conversation. I hope it doesn't get contentious, but I am relying on you here to be the front lines, so to speak.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. And how you been? Let's make this as awkward as possible.
I'm good. I'm actually in North Carolina right now, but I'll be headed back home tomorrow.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're not in here because I would have given you the COVID apparently. And I thank you for checking up on me, and thank you to all of you that have tried to check up on me. And this is me literally stalling and trying to reserve Shelby's very, very articulate points that I want to see for once, or not for once. Josh kind of in not the hot seat. I want to see him challenged. Him and I always fall to yep, we have to find middle ground. Where do you stand on that? At least I'm very interested I can have this conversation with you. Do you agree with our kind of notion that the left and the right as a party or as a base have to find a middle ground so that we can have a conversation about this? Or where do you really fall?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is a hot button issue, just like gun control is. You're always going to have one side that believes absolutely not, and the other side that says, well, there could be some situations, and especially if you've lived those situations.
Right.
So I do think this is probably one of those things that will always be a hot button issue, and people are going to have to learn to compromise somewhere.
Perfect moment for Josh to settle right in. The last question, and really the only question I asked her, Josh, was, how does she feel about the notion that the left and right as a constituency, as parties and bases, need to find some middle ground? Now, with that, though, I did stall and reserve her because I do feel she's got some of maybe the best points to articulate.
May I ask one question just to leave this off? Shelby, how do you feel about people saying the vaccine I don't want to say too much, but that's their body, their choice to take. How did you feel about that argument when that was going around?
Absolutely. It is their body. It is their choice, and it should always be that way.
I respect it.
And it should be like that for every vaccine.
Now, do you think there should be any type of I don't know the word existential circumstances? That's not the right word. Is there any circumstances where you should
extenuating
circumstances where you should take the vaccine?
Okay, so that's always the biggest question is, yes, my body, my choice. But then people, same with the whole abortion stance. Is it really your body, though? Like take, Eli, for instance. He's got COVID. He wants to, isolate, stay away from other people. But realistically, he doesn't have to. And
right.
But then is he playing with somebody else's body at that point?
I mean, I play with all the bodies.
It's easy to make that statement, but before this, did you get a flu shot every year?
No.
There could be many instances where we could say, because one doesn't take care of themselves, they're playing with other people's bodies. So I see where you're going with that, and I think we both kind of disagree with that kind of concept.
Yeah. Why not?
Elaborate, please. I feel like I don't know what just happened.
I said, if you didn't get the flu shot every year, I mean, technically you could have gotten the flu exposed to somebody else.
Right.
Not everybody gets a meningitis booster. Pretty much if they didn't stay in the dorm room for college, they didn't get one. They can get meningitis and spread it to somebody else. So
it's a stretch, but I get what you're saying.
It affects everybody.
It's a stretch, but I get what you're saying, Shelby. Like she's saying, essentially, you know how we say, taking a vaccine just kind of affects us. Well, if you got the sickness and you didn't get the vaccine, you could affect somebody else. So she's, trying to make, she's using that as, an example.
If I may, to kind of maybe flare this up a little bit, because I do not recall the example you made, Shelby, which was, what was it? Ask Josh if he would save 500 embryos. Or one human life. Yeah.
So my question, and it's very much an existential question. So you're in a burning building.
Okay.
You in room A is a 5-year-old child begging you to save them. In room B, there are 1,000 viable embryos. You only have enough time to save one room. Who do you pick?
Okay, since we're doing what we do, I'm already for an X amount into stage of abortion. So my only issue was ever, third trimester. I think maybe stages 1 and 2 of trimester can be, because, the definition of an embryo is an early stage of development of a multicellular organism, meaning we're in the first few weeks here. So if that's the honest question, like, of course, I'm not going to save an embryo who hasn't fully developed everything yet, as opposed to, a 5-year-old child. But that was never the argument in question, because most people are like, yeah, up to 15 weeks, up to, I've seen people say up to 24 weeks, fine, no problem. Elective. The thing I come to and I land on every time with a lot of people is this, 369 is the last 3 months of a pregnancy, when, states such as Virginia say you can birth a child and then the mother and the doctor can then figure out what to do with that child after the fact, as if when the child has been born, the other person who helped create that child can't come in and say, you know what, I'll take the child. Don't do that. Let me take, to me, you've gone too far. Inside the womb, we can have all those conversations. But what Kathy Tran was arguing in Virginia was abortion after birth. And a lot of these laws don't specify what do you qualify as life? Where in abortion, where in the stage of pregnancy can we not have an abortion? All those things to the other side, I think, matter and could rightfully sway them to understand better, as opposed to just like, not your body, not your choice, full-fledged abortion, go for it. So, retort. Sorry to go on for too long, Shelby.
Oh, no, you're fine. So that is a really, really good question. And the thing about it is, so late-term abortions don't happen because somebody changed their mind. Because I assure you that mother's already went through every single process of, hearing that heartbeat, the anatomy scans, things like that. They've probably picked out a crib and clothes and stuff. And then the late-term abortion comes into effect. Yes.
Shelby, the problem is what Kathy Tran was talking about was she was talking about women who have had the baby, and then her like what you're describing is, yeah, fine, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about literally an abortion happening after childbirth. That's what she was considering part of abortion. Are you with that?
Yes. Well, so no. All right, hold on. I was getting there.
Well,
so
it's yes or no,
I feel like
but
if
no
the
problem.
child made it to 40 weeks, you birthed the baby, at that point, it's murder.
At that point, do you think you should have a right to maybe let the dad take it, or stuff like that? Like,
even the state at that point.
The state, that's why safe haven boxes were invented.
Right. Okay.
Wait, I missed that. What was it? What was invented?
That's
Say again.
Literally why they.
Oh, abortions?
Sorry, what? No, so it's once a healthy child's been born and it can survive on its own. It needs no intervention whatsoever to survive other than being fed, but it can breathe on its own. Its heart beats on its own. Those kinds of things. That's murder at that point once it's its own creature outside of your body.
Indisputable, undebatable, yes, murder. And
100%.
That was information I was not aware of until the episode that we covered it, and I listened to that woman, Kathy Trans, talk about how they would let the child get fully born, and then the doctors and the parents would have a discussion while keeping the baby at that point fully developed, comfortable, and then determine. Yeah, that's a little fucking far out there, and I think all of us agree on that one.
Oh, absolutely. Because at that point, where does it stop? Can you abort a 16-year-old?
Yeah, I'm sure people wish.
I wish, yeah.
But if it can't survive on its own, though, if the heartbeat doesn't happen on its own, it can't breathe on its own, those are other circumstances. But that baby's still gonna, if it was born that way, I promise you that baby's still gonna have a funeral just like your grandma does.
You do see how far science has come, and people have births earlier and earlier, and they have artificial wombs that bring the child more to where it needs to be. I mean, science, trust the science. Science has gone as far as to allow humans at an early age to keep developing, whether it be inside the woman's uterus, stomach, or not. So what that's where I'm divided at, because now you're making the woman have a procedure. Now, at the very least, maybe she won't go through childbirth, but now you're going to make her have a C-section. You're going to make her be cut open. So that's where I'm kind of torn at. I could argue with you all day the idea, well, okay, yeah, maybe we give this child a chance outside the womb, but it still comes down to now you're going to have a surgery on the womb. That's where I get hung up on, in all honesty.
So that's the thing. So if the baby can't survive on its own without medical intervention, that then becomes, I guess, where the moral dilemma lies.
Right. Because there's a lot of babies who get born prematurely and survive outside there. It's up to the parents if they want to kind of continue that. So science has gotten us so far that, I mean, I think you could literally have a baby outside the womb at this point in some type of artificial womb and bring it to birth. I'm being a little bit hyperbolic, but my point remains.
You don't even have to be a woman anymore.
You don't have to be a woman anymore.
Throw the books out.
That's the thing. So at that point, then that's where the moral dilemma comes in. That's where the right and the left are fighting, going, well, okay, it's living. We can keep it alive. Okay, well, but for how long? Is that baby going to have any sort of quality of life afterwards? Are they even going to know they exist?
I can argue with that is like, how would you know until you try? We could sit there and be like, well, how do you know? Well, how would we know until we try? A lot of people would rather adopt a baby as opposed, and it sucks, but a lot of people would rather adopt a baby as opposed to, a 4 or 5 year old. It's just like, it's a shitty comparison, but people would rather adopt a kitten or a puppy as opposed to something that's kind of already full grown. So the idea that, there's nothing there to kind of facilitate that baby's future life is kind of false. But in the same sense, yeah, there are a lot of people that get caught up in foster care and bullshit fucking state funded parental programs that just make these kids fucking horrible. So I hear you on that side, but to say that how do you know what's going to happen? Well, I can say the same thing back to you. Is like, how do you know they're going to turn out like that if you don't try?
Right, but also the same argument exists that is against abortion. But the thing about it is, so if you're against abortion, you're against abortion on the fact that you want babies to live. At least, I'd say,
doesn't sound too bad, right?
45%. I won't go as far to say half of those people are doing it on the fact of we are all God's creatures, and you are ending a life God created. All right.
No, that was my penis, not God.
I would argue it was you and a man created that, and not necessarily God. But that's just me.
I agree with you. But that's where that dilemma comes in. It's like, okay, well, you can't do that because you're ending a life under God.
Okay.
All right.
Shelby, let me ask this.
What about that baby that has to be kept alive on machines? Are you not playing God at that point?
Well, what do you feel about premature babies? Do you think the science is playing God when they help a family's baby stay alive? Are you against that?
If you want to take the religious standpoint on it, absolutely.
No. There's literally nothing involved with religion if a mother has a premature birth and science comes in to help that baby stay alive. I don't see what that has to do with religion. But I don't want to get hung up on that unless you want to.
No. I agree with you. I think you're misunderstanding me. I'm saying that the people that are against abortion for religious reasons are still the same people that want to keep babies alive through scientific measures.
Right. Right. Yeah,
So
they want to give them a chance. Yeah, I agree with you.
You can't end God's life, but you can play God. And so that's where it's like, okay, well, all right, well, if you're going to take that standpoint, then explain the other side. Why would you keep that baby alive?
Well, we start to kind of, we start to go on the idea that, these people are pro-life, yet they're involved in the death penalty. And I think that kind of strays from the point, just as people who are pro-choice are cool with,
and playing devil's advocate. Okay, so if everything is God's creature, we're going to let PETA decide on whether we can get rid of tapeworms?
Let me ask you, Shelby, where do you think life begins?
So,
honestly, there's going to be no gotcha moment here, I promise. It's just an honest question because we've found out we all have a different answer. And everyone's answer isn't going to be a gotcha moment. It's just an honest question. Don't feel any pressure. If you don't feel like answering it, you don't have to answer it. It's just an honest question.
I have an honest answer. When the baby can live in its own body by itself.
And I personally want to throw in with
and I don't mean by itself like without medical intervention. I mean by itself disconnected from the mother.
But
because up until that point, that baby's a parasite. Technically, by definition.
So even at 8 months, you think it's not a person? You think it's a parasite?
Well, a baby can survive at 8 months.
Right.
On its own,
I think
on
that's
its own.
that's at least that's my point. Yes, a baby can survive at 8 months. So like whether it's through the mother's womb or through science, a baby can survive at 8 months. So
Correct.
So you think that's
on
okay
its own,
to
in
get
its
rid
own
of?
body. So separate from the mother's body, that's to me where life is, because that's the only time they have a life.
But what month?
That's the only time they have the opportunity to have a life.
Can we put a month on it? Can we put like 6 months in? Can we put, halfway into the second trimester? Because we just kind of talked.
Is it safe to assume, if I may I?
Uh-huh.
All right. Is it safe to assume that I think you're just you're going to fall on the sort of point that while that baby is within the woman, that's when it's still retained as the woman's choice.
It's up to 9 months.
So yeah, I'm not going to assume.
Yeah, correct. However, I don't agree with late-term abortions just because Becky changed her mind.
But you said you're up to 9 months, though. Like, up to 9 months. I mean,
I didn't say that. He did.
well, you agreed with it when he brought it up.
No, I'm saying like up to 9 months, you got to find where the baby can survive on its own.
But like we were saying with science now, even premature babies can survive kind of outside the mother's womb. I don't know what you define as on your own, but there is, at some point now with science, the baby can be had and science can take over where the mother's womb cannot. So
when procedure and or science is put into this, isn't it a risky pregnancy until that baby is either out or what else?
where are you getting that from?
I read it, but I mean,
From where? From what was it?
You'll never know.
A comment was sent.
If a preterm baby is going to be preterm until it's born.
Right.
If that helps.
But even then, we do know that premature babies have, their life expectancy is a lot more than it ever was because of what science can do. So, like, I don't think.
Right, but at that point, if you get to the point where you birth the premature baby, if you decided you didn't want it, you walk away.
What? If you birth a premature baby and then you decide you don't want it, you're okay with getting rid of it as opposed to letting it get adopted?
I don't think. No. I didn't interpret that as that.
What did you interpret it as? We're talking about abortion.
You leave the baby
to science,
unto the state. Nah. Like it's
no. So all right. So when a girl becomes pregnant, the man can walk away at any point.
I mean, not really, because the man gets slapped with all types of child, which you should.
Not if he signs his rights away.
I have to look into that. I'm not sure about all that because
nothing to do with this, and they can't do a thing about it.
I don't know any woman who would let him sign his rights away and let only that's probably very rare, as opposed to 9 times out of 10. I guarantee you the man leaves without the woman's approval. I guarantee you the woman's approval is a lot less than men knocking up a woman and leaving without her permission, as opposed to him knocking up a woman and she'd be like, you know what, I don't need you. I bet you that's less.
No, what I'm saying, he can choose to walk away.
Right.
Whether she likes it or not.
Yeah.
She has no say.
Yeah, but if he walks away and she doesn't want him to, he'll get slapped with child, what is it? He'll have to pay child support. He can't just walk away. If she wants, he has to pay child. He can't just walk away if she doesn't want.
I bring up that I and this is anecdotal, but I got like 4 fucking best friends that have multiple children scattered throughout the state of Florida and have not paid a fucking dime.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, but that's not the point here.
It's probably their choice.
Millions of people get away with not paying child support that they're said, but no, they can literally say, I don't want anything to do with this. I don't want to be on the child's birth certificate. I don't want it.
Man.
And that's it.
I've seen, I guess it depends on what state you're in, because I've seen somebody not be cool with the person they knocked up and that was their fault, but they still have to pay child support. So that's why I'm trying to find the nuance here is like, where is that actually allowed? Because the guy has to pay child support if the woman wants it. She has all the right for that child. So that's where I'm
as long as the father still has rights to the baby.
No. Even if the father can't
like,
see the baby, he has to pay child support. Like, even if the father is forbidden from seeing the child, he has to pay child support. I can name you 10 friends more so that have to pay child support that don't see the baby, even if it's by their choice or by the woman's choice. So I disagree 100%.
Right, because they're still on that child's birth certificate. That's the difference.
I don't understand how they wouldn't be.
I do have one friend who did sign their rights away entirely, so that the mother could go on and live the life with the daughter, and never have to have that person involved in their lives.
It's very rare.
Yeah, I mean that's literally the only occasion I know.
A birth certificate kind of demands you to give the mother and
I don't know that
father.
The fucking certificate changes by any means, but apparently as to any rights that he would ever have were surrendered.
Yes, and they no longer have to pay child support. That's how that works.
Yeah,
and
but that's rare.
They were removed from the birth certificate if they were on there to start with.
Yeah, that's the.
But that was a consensual agreement on both of their halves for the one occasion that I'm aware of.
The man can't make that. The man can't say, "I'm done with this child," and the woman say, "Oh no!" Like literally, if the man says, "I'm done with this child that I birthed," the court says you got to pay child support. It's only when the woman agrees that the man is done with the child do they not have to. After 18 years old, no child support paid. But if there's a man and he birthed that child and he leaves, it's up to the mother to decide essentially if he's going to be a part of that life or not.
He
as
spurts
long
that
as
child.
he went on the birth certificate.
What?
As long as he went on the birth certificate.
But that's what we're talking about. Like,
I wasn't aware that
majority
you
of
could
them
actually be removed from the birth certificate, though.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
But that's a rarity, though. That's when the mother doesn't agree with the dad.
We have to do our own research.
9 times out of 10, it happens out of wedlock. It happens after the baby's born. Like as soon as the baby's born, you're looking at maybe 10% of men who are like, I don't want any part of this. It's all on you. The woman, she's going to want help, rightfully so, from the man who helped her create this child. So unless she's really well off, she's not trying to collect some type of just due child support from a father. You know what I mean? So that's rare. That's rare.
So, yeah, it's not as rare as you think, where a father just kind of walks away before the child's born.
I have quite a few friends that have dodged this child support shit all their fucking lives by moving out of state or whatever it be. I don't know how.
But they didn't get their name off the...
No, fuck no.
Right. They're just literally doing something illegal.
Yes.
Like, yeah, that's
Right.
not... Again, that's
But
not...
if their name
It's not what we're
never
talking
went on
about.
the birth certificate.
But their
different.
names... Eli's people, their names are on the birth certificate. They're just evading the law.
Yeah, that's not the same situation. But no, they can choose to not be put on the birth certificate.
Only by the mother's choice.
Yeah, that would have to be, I assume, consensual.
Yeah.
I don't want to stay too stuck on this. I am kind of, COVIDed out, but we're sticking around. But I want to propose and throw the energy off completely and ask Josh a question. Shelby, you may remain on the line because it's a pretty gross question. Josh, I have one for you. Ready?
Please.
All right, this is via a meme that I saw on Facebook. So just imagine, like, instead of being the jizz juice that we ejaculate, which just got really gross, it was just like one large fucking sperm, and it's like the size of a fucking worm, and it could like wiggle around. Like if all of it was just like one giant sperm, wouldn't that be fucking gross, bro?
It'd be so cool, dude.
I mean, I saw the picture. Have you not seen this meme? It's all over Facebook.
Hey, what's up, dude? My name's Josh. Just trying to swim towards the egg. What's up, man? What's going on?
No, but like just comes right out and literally, like, let's just say you're rubbing one out, right now.
And just like,
one giant fucking sperm.
It's like
just
Free
falls
Willy
down.
does like that arc out of the water. Like,
Yes, precisely. I would
hate that. I would never jerk it again if I did that.
That would be horrifying. That'd be like the fucking thing.
I'd flush that bitch down the toilet as fast as I could.
See, I wish I could play the meme here, but I don't have the access. It just came to mind, and I did want to kind of break up even though the conversation's going fine, I can tell we're not at any progress, just at a ceasefire.
It's just getting circular, which is fine. That's and sometimes it takes a few different types of questions to get to that end point. That it's getting a little circular, but that's fine though. That's this is the joy of that. This is the fun of having these types of conversations, is to ask one question 13 different ways to see if it necessitates or brings any other type of answer. So, dude, Shelby's awesome. I love Shelby for calling in and just even having this conversation. That's awesome.
She is my new favorite.
I will say your Planned Parenthood statistic is a little flawed.
Which one? The one that was done by the institution who does statistics for the Planned Parenthood?
Yeah, about them being elective.
Interesting.
I mean, yes, that's what they're called.
That's an unbiased company who does statistics for Planned Parenthood. That's actually not a like a hater, so to speak.
No, I wasn't saying that, but it is a bit flawed what's recorded.
It's a bit broad. I will agree with you that. It's a bit broad. Elective could mean a lot of things. I'll give you that.
Well, I have proof. So a few years ago, I had what's called a molar pregnancy. A molar pregnancy is a tumor that forms in the uterus, but it acts like you're pregnant, pretty much. Your hormones go nuts, all kinds of things.
Rare.
But it is a tumor.
That sounds horrifying, by the way.
The process to get rid of it is the same as an abortion. Okay. It was recorded as an elective abortion for me because it wasn't something that was killing me.
Interesting.
Literally, that's why.
Even though it was a medical necessity because of what it was, it honestly sounds like incompetence to the doctors, because if it wasn't a child and it was just a tumor, it sounds like they weren't really sure what it was. It sounds like they suck.
Yeah, well, no, we were able to prove that it's a tumor, but it's a non-cancerous tumor, so it wasn't killing me. However, it was very, very painful, and which is why I ended up going to Planned Parenthood in the first place.
That sounds like, honestly, it sounds like a failure on our medical system, as opposed to, it sounds like they pawned you off to the only way we can get rid of this is through abortion. It sounds like our medical system sucks ass, really, more so than, You know what I mean?
You have to remember where I'm from, too. So I'm originally from North Carolina, and being part of the Bible Belt stings at times. And I, at one point, went through 6 different OBs trying to get a hysterectomy because I have endometriosis. But because I was under 35 and have less than 5 children, nobody would do it.
Oh, tough.
See, that's bullshit. Okay. That's bullshit. But I will say this, I don't think the complete extreme is granted. I think I think these type of nuanced conversations should pave way to those types of things. That should fall under medical necessity. And the fact that it doesn't, and you had to do these jump through some hula hoops to get this done, I think is complete bullshit. I think that right there, what you just described, was medical necessity that should be covered even by the states who say, we don't want abortion, but, rape, incest, medical necessity should happen. I think what you're saying is bullshit, and I think you should be able to have one with what you're saying. So I'm not in any type of a stance against you there. I think what you're saying is spot on, and that should be treated as it should be treated.
You're specifying what she went through is bullshit. You're not saying what you're saying is bullshit.
No, yeah. No, I'm like the idea that she couldn't get one, or the way that she only could get rid of this was via abortion. I think that's bullshit. I think that falls under medical necessity, and I think she was fucked over with that.
I just wanted the clarification on
fucked up quite a lot with that whole situation, because the Planned Parenthood clinic that I ended up going to did it wrong. And within 3 hours, my husband found me on the bathroom floor. I was basically bleeding to death, and I spent 2 weeks in the hospital.
And that was through Planned Parenthood?
Through Planned Parenthood, because I couldn't get my doctor to do it.
I mean, that doesn't look good for Planned Parenthood neither, though, to be honest with you, that they botched something that,
or the restrictions of the state. It
sounds like it shouldn't have been a Planned Parenthood issue to begin with because it wasn't a child.
They knew how to handle it.
No, because it wasn't a child, correct? This was a.
Right.
Am I not feeling
You're
the
right
grasp
there,
that it was
Shelby.
also
You're right.
restrictions of the very state that you lived in that required you to go through this bullshit?
Yes. So literally,
was that a misdiagnosis by your doctor though? Like how the fuck could they look at a tumor and think it's a child?
Oh no, they knew it was a tumor. 100%. Like I took my paperwork to Planned Parenthood, and they're like, "Well, why won't they do this?" I said, "Because it's not killing me, but it hurts."
Wow, that makes no sense. And that's
the doctor would
fucked
have rathered me live on Percocet than to fix the problem.
Yeah,
I agree with you there. I bet you that's a fucking case there. God,
that's Americana #1 right there.
And here's the problem: is what she's saying is 100% spot on, and this is argued with people who are like, "Oh no, you should never have an abortion." They won't hear the nuance that Shelby went through, and mind you, there are some people who won't hear the nuance of the other side of the conversation, and this is why I think this conversation is very important.
Aptly described.
Well, so the tumor will continue to grow. They have no idea how big it would have gotten, and so this is what I'm saying. So if you've got abortion left to the states and they absolutely outlaw it, that would have prevented me in one of those states from doing that. Planned Parenthood wouldn't exist. I wouldn't be able to go there and say, "Hey, can you help me with this? I'm in a lot of pain, and my doctor won't fix it."
But you also wouldn't have given birth to a child, though, because it was a tumor. So.
No, but because it's considered an abortion, it wouldn't have mattered.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's where it just sounds like medical negligence as opposed to like an abortion issue. It sounds like your doctors are just pieces of shit over there. Because like, how does it doesn't have a heartbeat. It's fucking not growing arms or legs. How the fuck are you assholes trying to say this falls under abortion? It just sounds like bad doctors.
Or also fucked up legislation with.
But it's a tumor. It's not a baby.
Right.
Like it's not fucked up legislation. It's someone who can't do their job properly. This is like, you know what I mean? Like how do you confuse a tumor and a baby when Planned Parenthood is like, why did you know what I mean? Like something doesn't make sense here, and it sounds like on the side of these doctors who confuse the tumor with a baby. One has a heartbeat and one does not.
Oh, so no, the doctors knew it was a tumor.
Right. Yep.
But they wouldn't take it out.
But that's where I'm confused. I've known many people who have benign tumors and got them, like removed, whether they be elective or not. So that's why I'm confused why your doctors.
The only reason they wouldn't is because the procedure itself.
So this doesn't really fall under an abortion though, because it was a tumor. You know what I mean? Like I'm not denying you, but I'm saying like this doesn't have to do with a baby. This has to do with medical malpractice and them not identifying a tumor. It was good that you had that option there, but like that option, abortions aren't normally used to treat tumors. You know what I mean? Like,
nope, they're not.
Right.
But
So like, I can't necessarily call that an argument for abortion. I call that an argument for a shit medical system who wouldn't do something. And luckily you had that route there that would be able to rid you of that tumor, but that's not really like
Well,
I know, but
the
that's honestly making
accessibility
it more
to
black and
Planned
white when it
Parenthood
really
was apparently her only out. Is that correct, Shelby? What essentially saved your fucking life was that your shitty fucking doctors in that shitty fucking state, no
Right.
offense to the shitty fucking state, were like, nope, the procedure is what, too similar to performing a fucking abortion. We're not going to fucking help
But let's
you.
not
Here's some
confuse
Percocet.
that with a real abortion, because that wasn't a baby. This was a
Right.
tumor.
But I am confused.
I understand
as to why,
that procedure was good, but let's not also conflate that they weren't going to do it because it was a baby.
Is there any? Do you feel like any of your point is lost upon us, Shelby? Because there are some people in the chat. Well, one, it looks like we're kind of stuck in the middle. Actually, somebody feels maybe Josh has missed the point, and somebody else feels Josh is right on the point that this was a bunch of malpractice. So where do you feel we're at here?
Oh, so that's what I'm saying. It's not so black and white. They almost have to coexist, because it sucks that I had to go through several different doctors and got told by all of them, because the procedure itself is coded in medical billing as an abortion to get rid of that tumor. And no, that fucks with their statistics.
But that's wrong, though. We agree that's wrong, that procedure needed to be done through an abortion, right? That's wrong. Like, that should have been done through a legit medical thing. That had nothing to do with delivering or keeping a baby alive, killing a baby. It had nothing to do with that. Like, they completely fucked you over by saying this is the only way you can get this out of you. That's fucked up, man.
So I was left with the choice of let it sit and live in pain and let it grow, or find another way. And I found another way.
And when you say the coexistence, Shelby, you mean the coexistence of what exactly? So I have this clear and cut.
So where this is an argument really for abortion and really an argument for medical malpractice, they both do still have to coexist, unfortunately, in this situation, because no matter what, whether my doctor did this procedure or Planned Parenthood, through medical billing, it's coded as an abortion.
Right. But that's wrong. That's wrong. Doesn't
it
mean
is,
it's
but that's
coded through
the
that,
way-
and that doesn't mean that was an actual abortion, because an abortion is medically defined as terminating a pregnancy. You weren't pregnant, and they gave a medical issue off to Planned Parenthood. I see how you could argue for that and saying the only way I got rid of this was because of that. And I will sit here and argue with you and be on your side that up until a certain point, they need to be elective. But the situation you're presenting, I just don't see as I see as kind of like this, in part of why abortion should be legal, not the main point, because what you're talking about wasn't a baby. It wasn't terminating a pregnancy. It was a medical issue that pieces of shit doctors missed. They passed the buck on. Like, they're horrible. Those people are horrible, Shelby.
They missed a benign tumor that was on the fetus.
Right. And so these...
Wait. It was on a fetus, or was it just a tumor itself? Because now it's changing.
Fetus.
No, it's just a tumor.
So it wasn't Eli. It wasn't a tumor on a fetus. It was just a tumor.
No,
Okay.
It's just a tumor.
Right.
But it acts like a pregnancy is what it does. That's why it's called a molar pregnancy. And if you want to look that up, it's MOLAR.
I'll pull it up right now.
So that's what it was. But then you've got these 6 different OBs that I saw who go, no, we're not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. We're not going to do a hysterectomy because even though you need one. And I'm like, okay, but why? And they're like, well, because you're under 30 and you have less than 5 children, which I was under 30 at the time when this happened. I'm not under 30 now. But, and I'm like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Well, you could change your mind. Wait, so I'm old enough to decide I want children, but not old enough to decide I don't want children?
Yeah.
I think this is just another example of getting more and new information that helps us formulate a more complete opinion on where our stances lie.
This
and
is
where
from
we can have full conversations on them.
This is from the Cleveland Clinic. It says a molar pregnancy occurs when an egg and sperm join incorrectly at fertilization and a non-cancerous tumor forms instead of a healthy placenta. The tumor or mole cannot support a developing embryo, so it can't even get to the stages of starting to do human things, and the pregnancy ends. It is also called hide. I don't know what that word is. I'm sorry, I can't see it. What does that say right there?
Oh, sorry, I'm in the Z chat all in large.
Hydatidiform mole. Yeah, I don't know.
Hydatidiform.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Heidi ho.
Jamie, that sucks. Okay.
That's Shelby, not Jamie.
No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the chat. Shelby, that sucks. I don't think you should have went through that. And also, I don't think, man, that your doctor should have passed that off as what you're saying it was. I think that's fucking horrible.
Well, I agree with you, but that's just the way it works in the healthcare system, unfortunately. So now it goes back to the whole thing. So, all right, I'm old enough to decide I want kids, but not old enough to decide I don't want kids. Well, then you outlaw abortion. So what about a woman that never wanted children?
Well, nobody's outlawing abortion. Roe v. Wade isn't outlawing abortion, just giving it back.
No. I know that, but a lot of states are going to do it if that gets overturned. That's why I say
a lot of states already have 15 weeks and the idea of incest, rape, and medical necessity baked into their laws. So I think there's like 2 or 3 states that are just going to outlaw, which is horrible, but I don't think it's a majority of them.
So I do think it's kind of pulling this full circle with the question that we started with. Is there a way both sides can agree on this?
Do you think so? Are you okay if the right came to you, Shelby, and said, listen, 3rd trimester abortions, you need to have a medical stipulation. We're going to make sure everything is legit, but 1st and 2nd trimester, go ahead and make it elective. But these last 3 months, you can't just decide you don't want it unless there's a medical problem. I'm confused by how in the 3rd trimester, after you got raped, you decide you don't want it. I haven't been in that situation. I'd probably figure that out sooner than that point. But again, that's me speaking out of a place I've never been in. So is there a moment for you, Shelby, that you like, okay, I don't accept it, but the first X amount of time I can accept it, because you could be the person to help start that conversation into the nuance and into the, picking from both sides kind of thing, like finding compromise. Where would your compromise be? If everything was on you, Shelby, no pressure, where would you compromise at?
Anything less than 20 weeks can happen. Anything more than 20 weeks needs a dire medical reason. You
talk to over 90% of people, I guarantee you they'll agree with you. But because the media wants us to make it seem like it's either all or nothing, we're at each other's throats. I guarantee you, if you propose that, people were like, yeah, what is that? For 20 weeks, so 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. It's 5 months. We're crossing there, but we're not at 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So right. I think that's a fair baby killing compromise. I do. Joking, but seriously, I do think it's a fair compromise. Now, if we can get someone on the right to call in and kind of, debate their side and tell us why it can't go that far, I'd love to hear it. But I do think, as we talked about before, 1st and 2nd trimester can be kind of open to interpretation. As you're saying too, 3rd trimester, let's maybe figure out, let's maybe pump the brakes here for a second and figure out what we can do differently here. That's fair,
I would
right?
even go as far to say 15 weeks unless it's fine. But
so many states already have that. So many states already have, like, after 15 weeks, you can't get an abortion. Like, literally, I think Texas is like that. Florida's trying to become like that. Like, what you just said, a lot of the states who are told they're going to outlaw abortion have the 15-week plus incest plus rape plus medical necessity after 15 weeks. So, believe it or not, a lot of states already have that.
One of the just a real quick, while I'm viewing the chat, I support, of course, anybody's very impassioned opinion regarding this very emotional issue. Josh, what is your opinion of somebody saying, I am 100% this way on this stance, or 100% that way and will never change my mind? What is your reaction to somebody that says that?
My reaction to somebody that says that is just, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that that, like, usually when somebody says something like that, they don't want to listen to the other side. They're already set in their ways, and this is how it's going to be. Now, I could be wrong, and they could have already heard the other side's argument, and they still don't agree. And you know what? What more can I do? That wouldn't be my choice. But the fact that they can sit here and listen to that side, I think, is progress. Because maybe, whether they agree with that or not, maybe they'll repeat that to somebody else who is on the fence. So this is not what I would do, but, here's, put this in your mind. So while I don't agree with them, I will respect their choice. And I will hope that they remain open-minded, because look what Shelby just said. The only way she could get rid of a fucking tumor is if she went through an abortion process. There is one point right there that says, holy shit. Like, if I can save, what's it? If one life is better than 10 or something like that, something along those lines. But the idea that, because abortion is where it is and people can do it, here's somebody, because of medical malpractice, had to get this type of treatment to get rid of what they had. Literally, an abortion that had nothing to do with terminating the pregnancy saved someone's life. I don't know how you would argue against that. Whether that's anecdotal or not, that's still a prime example of the nuances and the intricacies of this type of procedure and what it all encompasses. It's not just this fucking, you can't have it, you can't have it. And anybody else who says they're on this side or on that side, or because you're a man you can't talk about it, or because you're not religious you don't understand, can go fuck off.
Hey.
Seriously.
It was a comment by somebody that has been a long time supporter of ours, but we understand this being a hot button issue. They have taken and upheld their side and stance for decades and decades. So,
and are still here to express their side, which I appreciate, because it takes some balls to stand up to opposing views, especially some like these, because it's hot.
Even if it is to say you are 100% on this or that side, at least you've started some sort of dialogue in my eyes.
Yes.
With that, Shelby, I want to say thank you for calling in. This has been a very healthy conversation, even though I tried to preemptively cut it short, but then I started to hear and realize the more value of really letting both of you kind of speak and hash it out a bit and offering your experience. I think it's been eye-opening for a lot of people. So thank you, Shelby.
Awesome, Shelby.
And I do respect everybody's opinions. If you want to be pro-life and you are diehard pro-life, by all means, be pro-life. But I have a question for both pro-life and pro-choice people when I meet them. Pro-life, you're absolutely against abortion. You want all babies to be born, no matter what. Have you adopted a child?
We asked the same question. You're right.
Yeah.
All these anti-abortion people, more than likely haven't adopted a child. Now, with that said, we talked about this at the beginning. All the people who are pro-abortion more than likely haven't had a child. So you have to go with both on there.
I mean, I've had a child, so.
Well, I'm not talking about the anecdotal evidence. I'm talking about in totality. Just as you said, it's just as clear cut as that. A lot of people who are anti-abortion never had a child. A lot of people who are pro-abortion never not had a child. It's the same thing.
All of us having this very conversation have never been aborted.
My question is the pro-choice people. You think, abortions are okay no matter their circumstances. My question for them is, well, have you tried anal?
My question for everyone else who wants to get an abortion is, have you tried a condom? Have you tried Plan B? Have you tried swallowing? I could ask the same things. I don't think it'd be fair to do that, though, because we all have our own vibe we get off with. Like one of the articles we were just reading in the idea that women should get rid of their period tracking apps is they suggest in the article that you stock up, and I quote, on emergency contraceptive. Why would the same people, the same article, not promote contraceptives before it's an emergency? Where is the self-accountability in these type of actions? We are adults. We know that when a penis goes in a vagina and sperm happens, more than likely a baby will come out. Let's not pretend as if we don't. So let's not pretend as if we know, as if we don't know that unsafe sex could possibly lead to the birth of a child. Like, where is that type of accountability?
I would like to read one comment, and then I'd like to also cut Shelby off. And again, I thank you, Shelby. And then I'm going to go to the restroom. But it is amazing. Here's the quote, and I want to say I'm 100% by your side, old time friend, viewer, family, Karscar. It is amazing to me that we delete many people in war, prison, yet criminalize women for abortions. So I'm with you on that. I'm not a fan of the judgment or the stigma that has arisen with a hot button issue like this coming to the surface. But
you get the nuances.
There are women out there using this as a fucking contraception within itself.
But you get the nuances.
That, like, the whole stock up on emergency contraceptive thing is 100% because Becky is using it as birth control.
Is that wrong?
Yes.
I think we're on the same page.
On the packaging, not to be used that way.
I'm gonna use the restroom. I hope Shelby's off the phone by then. Much love, Shelby.
We're on the same page. I think that's what we can all kind of come to here at the end. Is like everyone is on the same page, but because we are told that we don't get along, or that these opinions are so far away from each other that we never try to get along. I mean, we just really, heard opposing sides, and we found common ground in between the two that was actually relatively easy to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's the thing, is that's the only way this is going to work. There is not going to, you can't, this is too much of a situation where you can't just piss off one side or the other. Yep. There has to be compromise somewhere. Both sides are going to have to give.
I hope we find that compromise. I know I go out of my way to piss people off to find their compromise, and I hope you do the same. Just to challenge people and what they think. I know Eli does the same. So Shelby, thank you for calling in, giving your opinion. Much respect to you. I know it's a very difficult topic. Thank you for sharing your story. That was very very sensitive, very getting very personal, but I think it made a good impact on people who are anti-abortion, but yet heard you went through something that this saved your life, whether it been a pregnancy or not. The procedure abortion saved your life. So I think that says a lot, and that should hopefully keep people's minds open, and that's what we appreciate, Shelby. So thank you.
Absolutely. Happy to be a part of it.
Hell yeah, Shelby. Rock on. Shelby, everybody. Dude, when you went to the bathroom, Eli, I was like, I looked over here. I was like, you coming back? Oh shit, he's on the screen.
Yeah, I'm there in spirit, my man.
I feel you. I feel you. Do you feel up to doing it tomorrow? What are we doing? You want to do a Thursday show like
as long
this?
as I'm not, as long as I don't wake up with like a fucking 103, I'm down for this via Zoom.
Am I going to hear from you at D-Day tomorrow? Like, 9:55, like, brother, I'm here. I'm like, oh, shit, look,
I'll just put it this way. If I'm not in the fucking hospital, you'll hear from me. Right now, I'm feeling a lot better given all the rest I've had and fluids. So play it by ear. Let's assume everybody watching, everybody there with me and Josh, that we're going to be live tomorrow.
Awesome.
At 10 p.m., 10:15, you know, the ish.
The ish. We know the ish. I don't know. I wanna play a video, but we've gone over long.
Hey man, look, I am at this level of like let it roll. I'm very relieved and proud to see the amount of people that have joined us throughout this journey. So yeah, let's stick to our guns. Let's do what we do. Our routine, we play a little funny video before we get the fuck out of here.
There's two funny ones that I want to play, but they're going to require a little bit of a breakdown. So I want to keep on topic here. I want to show that not only humans prefer abortions out of womb, but roosters. Roosters would prefer children get aborted out of the womb. Allow me to demonstrate. So this is a young lady walking home from school, and she will be swiftly attacked by a rooster. Boom! Ooh. She fucking slapped at that bitch right in this fucking head. Dude, look at this thing. Dude, I hate, God, roosters are such dicks. But he's like, I'm gonna abort you, bitch. I'm gonna abort you. He tried to abort her, dude. You saw that? Look.
In real time.
Look at him.
It's like a literal manifestation of a rejected abortion or something.
Bro, that rooster is just like, the fuck just happened? Like he's sitting like, look at him just standing there like an idiot. It's just like,
I must have you know, Josh, I am going to report that you just played a minor smacking a cock.
Good, dude. I'll smack any cock that wants to get that big in front of me, dude. You better chill the fuck out. Dude, look at him. Look, he's like, and then he walks away like.
Yeah, I mean, I literally imagine your face on the rooster when you make the face of the rooster.
Well, I'm gonna go away. Like, run away like a little bitch he is. Look at that little rooster.
My cock knows when it's not welcome.
What a cock. What a cock. Okay, speaking of cock, how about lady at a Chick-fil-A, at Cock-fil-A, having a bad day? You know, what could go worse than a bad day at Chick-fil-A? I'll tell you what.
It's going to be a Karen meltdown.
Like getting out of your car without doing anything like such as putting it in park. How about that?
Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry, it dawned on me late.
It's just fine. I'm trying to play this, but it's being difficult.
Get your car. Get your car. You understand? This is why we're concerned, ma'am.
This is why we're concerned, ma'am. The best part about this is nobody realized that her car got away from her. I'm like 100%. Why the fuck can I not? Dude, that's annoying.
I just want to grasp this woman was having an issue and she was just so in the moment. She just fucking got out.
Yeah. In the drive-thru, having so much an issue, giving all the poor Chick-fil-A employees such a hard time. She gets out of her car.
Get your car. You understand?
And now she's running after it.
This is why we're concerned. I mean, Captain Obvious over there with the win.
Look, she walks away. She doesn't realize it. Watch.
Oh, God. Please tell her to stop. Oh, God. Tell her to get.
Wait.
Look at her run.
Oh, my God. That's the woman. Oh, my God.
Look, they're all running.
Did she just... Why?
Did you see the car go over? What the fuck is wrong with this goddamn video, dude? Look at them idiots run.
Oh, God. Please tell her to stop. Oh, my God. Tell her to get.
Did she ask the vehicle politely to stop? Somebody said, "Oh, please, car, stop." That's how parking works.
That's just
Every
like
time I want to parallel park or something, flexing that I can parallel park. I'm like, "Hey, please, car, park, stop, go." Fuck the gas and the pedal.
they're like having the argument with the customer and just like they've had so many arguments with customers that they just like block out this argument. And they're like, ma'am, you got to stop. You know, see, this is why you got to stop. And then they finally realize, like, oh, your car's driving away from you. I get it now. Not their fault. It's her fault. The ma'am's fault. But it's funny when they finally, like, literally the car's driving away and she's running after it. And they're like, ma'am, could you stop it, please? And then the lady starts walking backward, like back to Chick-fil-A. And she hears the car go over the fucking side. And she's like, oh my God, wait, what the fuck? Like, I love it.
It was at that moment she had. I mean, I am a little baffled as to why she did not preemptively start chasing that fucking car down. But that must have been a mighty fucking important cock-fillet order or something.
Okay.
You completely ignore that your vehicle is like literally fucking driving away.
NSFW, straight up.
Uh-oh.
Nobody dies.
Nobody dies. Any poo-poo?
But a man, can I say he tries to die?
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
he
you
tries
say
to
that.
die.
Uh-oh.
He jumps. He does a jumper. Ready? And the camera, he jumps so fast, the camera misses him. He landed on the car, bro.
Holy shit.
Let's watch it one more time. Okay. So now pay attention to the car down below. Hang on. Because you can see him hit. Okay, so this car right here. Watch. Just watch the windshield. And he's naked. Oh my God, I feel so
come on.
bad.
Oh, dude.
Wait, did you just get mad that he jumped off like 10 stories and like opened his knees for a second?
His balls, man. Fuck.
I think I need to get and leave. I think he gets up and runs away.
Oh my God. Like,
and I'm free.
Just imagine the thoughts after you do that final life decision and then you land, survive, and you're like, can't do anything right.
You ever seen the video or the documentary about the Golden Gate Bridge jumpers?
Yes.
And like most of them, like when they jump, they're like, fuck, what did I just do? Like they all have that split second thing.
One of my favorite stories. This is a little piece of Americana history here, but the Golden Gate Bridge has a man from like the 1900s or fuck me if I get it wrong when that was made, but he had signed or inscripted, I did it because I had a toothache. And he did die, but they did an autopsy and they found he could have just had a fucking tooth extraction. It would have made it all go away.
I was like 14 or 15 and I'm working with my dad. We're down in Key Biscayne. We're on like a 11 story condo. And I got all my buddies there. It's like, take your child to work day, like during high school. And I, I'm an idiot. I'm an asshole. I'm like, I'm going to freak people out. So I hop over the balcony and I'm the ledge is right here. But behind me is nothing because I'm over the balcony. And I'm like, what if I take my arms off the railing? When I did that, brother, wind went, whew. I couldn't grab. I was, what the fuck? And one of my buddies just jumped, grabbed me, and threw me back over the fucking railing, dude.
Holy fuck, man.
Yeah. And he was like, what the fuck were you doing? And I was like, that wasn't supposed to happen. Like, literally, like, I was like, just joking. Done it before. Used to climb fucking towers and shit like that, like, cranes in Fort Lauderdale. And, like, I just hop over the railing. I'm just like, ha, ha, ha. What do you think's going to happen? And I let go. And just, like, it's so windy up there that I had wind go, like, just like that. Like, knocked me so far off balance to where I couldn't grab back the bar, and my friend just leaned over and just threw me back. Hold up.
I want to thank Steve Harloa again for always coming through in the super chat, reminding people that we have a super chat. Thank you, Steve Harloa, who also maintains his own channel. We thank you for your patronage and your support. This is for still being on after my 15-minute drive home. You guys fucking rock. Much love and aloha. Thank you, Steve.
Steve, you make it all the better, all the awesome. Thank you so much. Eli, I think it's about time we do the thing and we get the F out of here, huh?
Yeah, brother. I gotta
what
have my
say you?
COVID nap.
You gotta have your COVID nap?
Even though I spent most of the day in bed, but yeah, it's about that time, kids.
I hear you. So keep a lookout. We hope to be updating the YouTube channel soon. We're gonna be making a decent member section. We're gonna keep some of the videos up every week, but a lot of the videos are gonna go after we go live. They're gonna go behind the member section, and we hope to figure out a few things to where we either do overtime, we give you an extra episode a week, but we're trying to hit a goal every week. We're trying to make this a little different. We're trying to do what we can with this while just enjoying the shit out of it,
To keep it sustainable to the point where maybe, just maybe, this could be a full-time gig for us.
Even if it's a halftime gig, I would love it. Even if it's just a halftime and I gotta worry and I could just, okay, let's go here, we'll fucking do some stories like that. Like even that, I'm fine with. But
not to make this a depressing thing, Josh, but literally this is the only passion project that keeps my optimism or hope alive, is the thought and ability that we can do this until our days are done. But with that, not to guilt trip anybody, we love you, we thank you for the support, and we hope to see all of you tomorrow night, 10:15 p.m. Okay? Hasta la vista.
Okay. Hasta la vista. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 10 p.m. YouTube.com/stuckInmiddle. You're here. You're queer. Don't worry about it. I'm just joking. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Kill the babies.